So we have some breaking news coming out of Rams Nation. As y'all can see, the Rams have made a trade. The Rams have sent our inside linebacker Kenny Young to the Denver Broncos. I was just getting off of work and I saw this on my phone, and I gotta be honest with you guys. I am not. I don't quite know what to think of it yet, but let's go ahead and get into it. What did LA receive in return for moving a linebacker off the roster on Monday? So, Kenny Young. The Los Angeles Rams traded linebacker Kenny Young to the Denver Broncos on Monday ahead of the trade deadline, which is on November 2nd. So that's only about a little over a week away. So if teams are going to trade for anybody, they're going to need to do it now. And the Rams went ahead and traded Kenny Young. They went ahead and sent Kenny Young in a 2024 7th-round pick to the Denver Broncos. All right? And in exchange, the LA Rams received a 6th-round pick in 2024. Let's go ahead and get into it more. I'll kind of speculate on what I think's about to happen here in a second, but on its surface, not the best trade. We'll go ahead and say that right now. So, according to Adam Schefter here in a tweet, the Rams are sending linebacker Kenny Young and a 2024 7th-round pick to the Broncos in exchange for a 2024 6th-round pick. Broncos have 8 injured linebackers, including 6 on IR. So they are hurting for linebackers right now. So they were a good trade partner. They were in the market for any linebacker. So, which makes me wonder. I feel like there are other linebackers they maybe could have offered Denver. But, Troy Reader comes to mind. I'm sorry, man. But I feel like. Well, I'll get into that in a second. Young was enjoying one of the best years this season with the Rams. He had 2 sacks, one of which came against Tom Brady in Week 3. I remember that. That was pretty awesome. 27 solo tackles after 7 games. Young was a part of the Marcus Peters trade in 2019 and has been with the team ever since. In 2020, he had a pick 6 off of Cam Newton that he returned 80 yards and 52 combined tackles that helped vault LA to the number 1 defense that year. Yes, I remember that. That was he was a part of that defense for sure. Knowing less need in the Rams, it could be expected that there are more moves will come following the trade. This past week, LA restructured Rob Havenstein's contract to make room for additional cap space. So, on its surface, if you just look at the trade by itself, in my opinion, the trade is terrible. All right? The trade is so awful. It's the only thing I can think, it must be the Rams have something in the works. That by them sending Kenny Young to Denver, they clearly have their eyes on someone. I don't know what position group it could be. I don't know who or where or who it is, but they have their eyes on somebody. Because trading a starting linebacker, and I got to be honest, Kenny Young I was never as high on Kenny Young as some other Rams fans are. I didn't dislike Kenny. I thought Kenny was a good player, and I did think Kenny was having his best year since we acquired him in 2019. I will say that. But I was never really sold that much on him. The thing is, the Rams have kind of an issue at linebacker because we have just neglected the position, much like the center position and the O-line in the NFL draft. Now, having said that, the Rams seem to knock on table, seem to have gotten lucky with the center and the O-line with the surprising play of Brian Allen and the rest of the O-line. So they've kind of got saved on that front for now anyway. I'll do an assessment of the line after the year is done. But they've been playing well. But our linebackers, man, have been seriously lacking, and it just seems like they don't value the linebacker as much as other positions on the team. And I think that's just a grave mistake. Now, who knows? Maybe they have their eyes on a linebacker on another team, and that's what they're trying to save up cap space for. Because that's the only them. Because basically, we gave Denver a starting linebacker and a 7th-round pick in a draft that is multiple years away. For a 6th-round pick in the 2024 draft in the same year, several years from now. So, by itself, does not look great. But, moving to here, as it said on the end of the article, we went ahead and restructured our right tackle Rob Havenstein's contract earlier in the week. We went ahead and freed up some cap space. And as you pretty much... What exactly happened here, we moved some money around. As you can see, I'm going to try to highlight this. The Rams have moved around money quite a bit this year, trying to stay under the cap space provided by the league. Before making this move to restructure offensive lineman Rob Havenstein's deal, the Rams had about $151,989 to work with. After converting his salary into a bonus, the team created $3.072 million for future deals for current players on the roster. Speculation is rampant that the Rams are preparing for a trade, but this might not be the case. As you can see here, can confirm right tackle Rob Havenstein is the latest Rams veteran to agree to restructure his contract. This adds $3.072 million in salary cap space for the Rams. Havenstein signed a 4-year deal, $32.5 million contract in 2018 that runs through 2022. And Field Yates here goes on to say the Rams converted $3.84 million of Rob Havenstein's salary into a bonus, while adding 3 voidable years to the original contract, creating $3.072 million of 2021 available cap space. Teams will often move money around in season to help accommodate practice squad promotions and other roster management. So I know this is a little confusing. I know it's confusing for me, but essentially they're moving some money around and they're freeing up some cap space right now. And one could be said when this article came out that it adds a little extra cushion for practice squad promotions and for roster management, but knowing Les Snead's history and how much of a trader he is, a trader, where he likes to trade goods and whatnot. I have enjoyed watching Les Snead's trades. Some were a bit of a head scratcher. I think sometimes he either overpays or doesn't offer enough. In terms of to other teams that what we could get back. But overall, I do think he's. I don't see anyone else in the league doing this, so he's got some guts making all these trades, and I think only Les Snead could have gotten us Matthew Stafford. I really do. I don't think anybody else in this league, any general manager, could have been able to convince the Lions to give him to us, because from obviously what we heard, Lions possibly were looking in another direction to give Matthew to another team, but that's the whole thing in and of itself. It's more so Matthew wanted to come here, and Les has a bit of a history with Brad Holmes, so I guess that doesn't really count. But the point remains, that Les Snead likes to trade a lot of people. And with Kenny Young now opening up a roster spot. So essentially, what we've seen in the past couple days is the Rams make a move, restructured some contracts, contract, pardon me, with Rob Havenstein to move some money around, okay? We then traded a player off the roster to free up a roster space and move some more money with Kenny, leaving a gaping hole on the roster. That tells me that there is a player that the Rams have in their sights. That we pretty soon, I would say this week for sure, because the deadline is the 2nd, November 2nd, we will see the Rams acquire a player from somewhere. We're getting a player. I can pretty much bet any amount of money that we're trading for somebody. Well, I mean, we have to. We moved money around, and we opened up a roster spot. So, who is that going to be? I have no idea. My first initial thought you would think would be, well, maybe they're trying to upgrade at the linebacker position. And while I think that is a probable road that they may go down, it's not. I'm not sure if that's what they're going to do. You know, they may think Ernest Jones may have been impressing, and he is someone who I did say I thought he was going to take over the starting role sometime this year, and they may be confident with him or Travion Howard possibly. Because Troy Reader and Kenny Young just weren't getting it done. I'm sorry. Overall, they weren't wowing me, and they were subpar against the run. Kenny had some good moments, but we definitely need an upgrade. Now, man, I have no idea where they're going to go with this, guys. I really don't. It's perplexing. The trade by itself is terrible. It's terrible in my opinion. But one thing to keep in mind, that this trade is part of a bigger puzzle. So the trade by itself is terrible, but they clearly have someone in their sights, and I do believe it's going to be a defensive player. I honestly believe that after watching Jared Goff and the Lions just completely just run all over us and play very well, our defense needs to get better. Okay, we are giving up way too many yards. We got to stop the run better. I think we play solid at times, and I understand that's part of the scheme. I have problems with the overall scheme just to begin with, but we've talked about it before, and we'll talk about it again. I don't want to really get into it right now. The overall scheme of the defense, I just don't really agree with. I don't like giving up so many yards to a team, big chunk yardage, and having the mindset, oh, we'll stop them by the time they get to the red zone. That's a recipe for disaster, as we saw in Week 4 against Arizona. So, and we've seen our offense can struggle a little bit and has struggled. I do think the offense will get better, but I feel like they were putting so much stock in their offense that with the offense sputtering a bit in the first half of the season here, it's really kind of exposed this defense. So I feel this trade is to upgrade the defense in some form or fashion. I don't know how or what it's going to be, but I'm very excited to see what it's going to turn out. It's wild. Let me tell you, it's wild being a Rams fan, man. They love to trade their players. They love to trade their picks. It can be maddening at times, but at the end of the day, I appreciate the effort to get a championship to this team. But damn, we'll see. We'll see what the Rams have in mind, but I'll go ahead and cut it off there. I'll catch you guys on the next one, and as always, go Rams.